Coming to you live from the Drew Estate and Gurkha Cigar Studios in the great state of New Hampshire. Welcome to the Spare Notes series with your hosts, Matt Tabacco, Pat Chamberlain, and William Cooper.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Spoken Tobacco Show. I'm sorry, the Spare Notes series. It's been a long day. I've had food poisoning today, so it's been a rough day. But welcome to the Spare Notes Show. It's Saturday night. I'm joined live from Indian Trail, North Carolina, with my wonderful co-host and great friend, Mr. William Cooper, the Scoop with Coop. Patrick Chamberlain is not here because he was too afraid to drive through a little bit of snow, and so I said, all right, I'm going to hold down the fort without you. So Pat is remote somewhere. I think he's at home hanging out, but it's all good. But we're here, guys. Welcome. Sorry, I'm really thrown off today. Like I said, I ate something that didn't agree with me, you know. And I have a sneaky suspicion as to what it is, even though some people keep telling me that I'm not right. But I know what I ate. I'm an eater. Coop, you're an eater too. And I feel like you're in the same boat. Like, like, when you eat shit on the reg, you're like, I know, like, when you have, like, something new that comes into the circle, you're like, it's got to be you. It's got to be you. It's got to be you. Yeah. Yeah, you know. You're a professional like me.
You know.
And I know it's food poisoning because if it was, like, the norovirus or a stomach bug, I'd have, like, more effects that were longer lasting when I had the initial unload, and then I was fine. You know, usually that's a sign of, like, you ate something, your body's like, get it out, and then, all right, it's gone. If it was the norovirus, I'd be throwing up all day, which I did not do. I just felt a little crummy, you know? So I drank a bunch of Gatorade, tried to take a nap.
Gatorade works good. Yeah, it works wonders.
Yeah.
Pedialyte, don't kid yourself, it works good too.
Well, we keep Pedialyte in the house because of the baby. Which
Yeah, that's how I, you know, when I'm desperate, I'll have it.
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't hurt to be prepared. So, anyway, that was my day. But wow, what a few weeks it's been. I have to say, Jay Davis, this show needs some energy like Juan Protocol cigars one can sell. I don't know if anybody has energy quite like that. And you know, and I'll be honest with you, there's been a lot more energy since Pat's two shows ago when Pat was pretty much sitting here on his phone, snoozing away, and I'm like, you have anything to add? No, I'm tired. It's been rough.
You know. Listen. Jay knows I'm probably tired too because I had a 5 a.m. start. We had to record the Jukebox podcast early. Then I had KMA, but I did take a cat nap in the afternoon.
Ooh, pickle juice works too. I don't know if that. Is he being serious or is that a joke?
No, it works. Pickle
juice
is a great hydrator. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. We keep pickle juice in the house, and I use it not just for hydration, but it is a palate cleanser as well. It will cleanse your palate.
The Leaf and Ash podcast. Hello. Thank you for watching with us.
Thank you. Absolutely appreciate that. Yes.
How y'all doing? We're doing good. I'm feeling a little rough today, but you know, I'm still here. I'm toughing it out. Oh look, it's the TPE police, Alan Rubin. Yeah, we're gonna talk about TPE tonight. I thought it was funny. I made a post about the traffic flow at TPE, and someone said something about, oh, it's overrated. I think it was Stace Berkland, actually. And say, oh, TPE is overrated, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't really have anything to comment on his comment. But Alan was like, have you ever been to TPE? How many times have you been? It's like, what are you, the TPE police? Like, he's been enough times to know, like, his own opinion. Like, come on.
So you already put 2 comments up by him. It's going to be like 100 by the end of the night.
I know. Well, no, you know, here's the thing, Coop. I like to call people out on their nonsense. That's, you know, just like, I don't know. Let's see. Let me take something at random. All the people who are pissing and moaning because we just found out that all of our taxpayer money has been being spent on fucking nonsense. And yeah, I went there. I finally went political. I'm sorry, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I couldn't fucking do it anymore. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The amount of money I pay in taxes every year, and that's where it all goes. Listen, go fuck yourselves if you're for that, all right? That's how I feel. But anyway,
No hablangois.
I know, Coop. I know. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
do it anymore. I just can't. I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. I tried. I kept my mouth shut for a long time, but I just can't do it anymore. This is fucking stupid. Anyway, that's my thought on it. But welcome, everybody. We got a great show for you. We're going to try to keep Alan in his place. But, yeah, we got to talk about TPE. Coop, you're going to ProCigar next week, so I already know you're all fired up. Jay Davis just got back from the Dominican, and we know because he took about 1,000 photos.
He did some great work, actually. I wish I had him as covering. He did great work. He was a big help to me at ProCigar last year, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Me some things.
I remember that.
Yeah, he was. It was great because you can't go to every factory, and Jay was on some, and I'm on some. He got me a lot of good stuff. Then I missed the bus for field day, and he helped.
Coop, you always make it work. That's what I love about you. You never give up. You got Jay out there, being field reporter for Scar Coop.
I gave him all. I gave him attribution and everything for anything he did. So
let's not forget. Let's not forget. You you went to the Dominican last year's trip, right? So you went down. You went for ProCigar. You got to go to you went to La Romana last year for the first time.
I'm not going to La Romana this year, but yes.
You had Jay, double juicing the content, okay? You got to meet the president of the Dominican Republic. And then you flew private with Michael Herklotz back to Florida for the Great Smoke. I mean, I don't know if anyone has ever, will ever, or could ever top that ProCigar experience other than what you had.
It was, look, I didn't talk much about the private plane back with Michael, but yes, I did fly back on a private plane. Yes, I have photos. Yes, I did selfies and all that. But but that aside, here is the deal that I want everyone to understand. That flight was the same cost whether I was on it or not. It was a charter. Okay, so there was a seat, and I had to get back because for the Great Smoke, and originally I was going to miss it.
Yeah.
And there was a seat available. Michael asked the ProCigar people because no one else was going to use it, and as long as no one else used it, I got it. So, but it was the same cost no matter what. Now I don't know who paid for Michael's flight, and I don't get into that. All I know is that flight was.
Hey, it's none of our business.
Yeah, but I guess he had run to the ProCigar people, so I don't know, but because he had to do for people who don't know, Michael is the MC for the Great Smoke virtual experience, and he does a great job at it. But Michael's also the auctioneer at ProCigar, and if you have not ever seen, and there's some footage on Coop videos of Michael as the auctioneer, it's a gift. I've never he is. I would put him up with any auctioneer. He's that good.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
So he needed to be at both, basically, is what happened. Yeah.
I haven't seen him because ProCigar doesn't really do a great job selecting people to go to their festival, so I wouldn't know.
You should see they're 1,000 times better than ProCigar.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are.
I mean,
but
at least I'm not saying they're perfect, right? But ProCigar was really bad, and I have no desire to go back until changes are made with ProCigar. And I'll say that I have no problem saying that. Yeah.
I'll tell you this much though. I would take the ProCigar invite over ProCigar right now, based on my experience in the last 2 or 3 years.
Well,
I would do it just to make a statement.
Well,
I know you hate this, Coop. I know you do. I'm sorry.
Listen, Matt, it took me 10 years to get a ProCigar invite too, so I'm just gonna be honest with you. It did take me a while. So
yeah, I know.
But ProCigar, I don't want to get into it, but let's hope they make some changes. Is what I'll say. Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah. It'd be good for everybody. Also,
Yeah.
I'm hearing rumblings of a Honduran cigar festival.
No rumblings. It's a fact. But what it is they've had it for 4 years. It's a Honduran and coffee festival, but this year the cigar makers are getting a little more behind it right now. So that's been the difference. So I know that JRE is participating in it as well, and I think Cavalier is. So it's a growing festival, but yes, it's combined with a coffee festival. This is the 5th edition of it. They moved it up this year. It used to be another time of the year, and they moved it up just so they could have all these festivals like back to back to back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, festivals are cool. People get to see stuff. People get the experience. Then you get the trade shows, which are interesting. Like TPE.
Yeah.
And then and then you get PCA coming up, which is like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
As you know.
And by the way, if you want the name of the festival, folks are interested. Festival del Puro y del Café.
Ah.
Yeah, so if you're interested in that, and if you really are interested, you can email me. I have some info on it. Yeah. So it's February 27th.
Have you been to Honduras?
I've been there twice.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been there in 8 years, but I've been to Rocky's facility and I've been to Justo's. So I'm due to go back.
Interesting. Out of all the countries, like the Dominican, Nicaragua, Honduras, so you've been to all three. Which one did you like the most, and which one did you feel the safest in? Because I get that question. I get that a lot. People always ask, "Oh, I was safe," and I'm like, "I don't know. I haven't been." Well, I've been in the Dominican. The Dominican's fine, but
yeah, I would still put the Dominican as the best experience because you could go down there and do what you want to do and not, feel. It's a little harder to do that in Nicaragua because Esteli's really 2 hours away from a major metropolitan area. I would say Costa Rica, which I have been to, and I did cigar stuff in Costa Rica, is probably the safest I felt. It's just not the most interesting. It's because it's not as much to do there.
I forgot you went to Costa Rica.
Yeah, and Cuba's very safe too. I've never felt unsafe in Nicaragua. There were a couple places in the Dominican I did feel unsafe. I'll be honest with you. And a couple places in Honduras I felt a little awkward, but nothing that I've ever felt like it's just like any metropolitan area, you're gonna wander into the wrong area sometimes, and that happens. So it's nothing. All those countries I'd go back to. I don't have a safety issue with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Jay Davis, don't forget the bro hug.
The bro hug when Michael left. When he
That's right.
He bro hugged the president. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was an unbelievable.
I forgot about that story. Oh, thanks, bro.
It's
like, dude, you didn't even know who you're talking to?
We get in the car, and Michael's like, "Who was that? The president?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I broed the president." I go, "Yeah." I wish I caught it on tape. It's the thing I'll say about that president experience is the handshake was one thing, and I had this goober reaction, and everyone knows it, right? I'm not.
Yeah, you did
right?
this one. You went.
Well, I had the glasses kind of down because I was writing notes on my phone, right? So I had the glasses down like grandpa, right? And I was writing notes on my phone, and he came over. But the other thing is, the moment that I don't think people realize is, I was seated in a very strategic area. And when he went on stage, I got up to take pictures, and I went right in front of the stage, I'm telling you. If this was the U.S., the Secret Service would have gang-tackled. I was talking about this on KMA this morning. They would have gang-tackled me, Matt. So, it was hats off. They had, don't get me wrong, there was security there. They were, but they didn't have a problem with me going, and a few people going and taking those pictures, which was amazing.
Yeah, like I said, an amazing experience that you had there.
That trip was the best that trip was the best pro cigar. Like I said, the part I didn't write about was the plane part because, people get a little bent out of shape on stuff like that. So, I just kept it low key. I didn't deny it. If someone asked me, but I just didn't. But I think I'm gonna post those pictures at some point because the plane pictures, being in a private plane, that was my first time in a private plane. It's really cool. So.
Yeah, I don't think I've been on a private plane. That is cool.
It is cool, yeah. That's
the
one
thing. Do you have so I assume when you fly private, you don't have the flight attendant who's yelling at you about
No.
You can do whatever you want.
In this case, you pretty much can do what you want. Yeah, there's but yeah, pretty much, there's no like food or anything like on this particular plane. It wasn't. It was a basic. We're gonna fly you from Santiago to Fort Lauderdale.
Well, that's a hop skip away. That's not like a. And
it was at night. We flew like almost midnight, right? So. You couldn't see anything. The part I also didn't talk about is when I landed in Fort Lauderdale, It's not at FLA Airport. It's at another private airport, kind of a little ways away.
Right, like an executive airport.
Getting an Uber to get there was a little bit of a challenge, to say the least.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah. So
wait, so you're telling me Michael flies in private, but then he doesn't have a private car service waiting to pick him up off his private flight? Usually they have to go hand in hand.
Yeah. Okay. Correct. But here's the deal. Michael was going to Palm Beach. I was going to Miami. My car. I had to go get my car in Miami was the issue.
I see.
So I had a car in Miami. So I had to go. We had to go in the opposite directions there.
So what did you do? You landed at Fort Lauderdale.
I landed at Fort Lauderdale.
Went all the way to Miami, get your rental car. Then you drove all the way back up to West Palm Beach for the Great Smoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So what I did, what I do is this time of the year I rent a car and I go to Florida, right? Because you talk about weather. Ice in Charlotte will kill the airport here. You don't want to mess with that, right? Yeah. I don't want to take a chance with it. So I'd rather just drive it to Florida, and I can control it a little more. So I basically do. It's cheaper to leave the rental car in the garage than to do one-way rentals. So that's kind of what I did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What how long of a drive is it from Indian Trail down to, like, I don't know, southern Miami?
About 10.5 hours.
10 hours. One shot?
Yeah.
You do it?
Yeah.
Or do you stop?
Well,
you stop at Whataburger and all those places, I know.
Yeah, but I know when I drive down there on Friday, I'm going to stop probably somewhere in Central Florida. I don't think I'm going to do it straight because I have to leave a little later on Friday. So that's going to be what? Yeah. So
you get it all figured out, man. You're a pro. You're a pro.
I actually have this down to a science because I've done this a lot. Because again, if the trip was in May, I don't have a problem flying to Miami. This time of the year, we are not an airport that has de-icers. A few weeks ago when you had the snow, it will cripple the airport. I'm just saying. So it's different down here. So I do it, and that's what it is. Yeah, it's about the same amount of money I end up paying anyway. So, but I also am going to do my weekend in Florida next weekend. So, it's Miami. I have to go to Miami, right? I mean, I've not done Miami trip since November. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so you're overdue. It's been 2.5 months. You're overdue.
Yeah. So I mean, I could tell you, Caribbean Cigars is on the agenda. There's gonna be a few other places I'll hit down in Miami. There'll be a
You gonna hang out? Are you gonna go check on Hector Alfonso? Make sure he's doing all right.
Yeah.
So, you gotta do that.
So, yeah.
He's probably not in smoking shape, but I figured you're at least gonna go in and check on him and.
Yeah. So, but there's other guys I know there too. So I mean, I know all the regulars in Caribbean. So that's my home away from home. In a lot of ways, I feel like that's the best shop I'm treated at. When things, I'll just, sometimes things happen locally here, and I don't feel my back's held. But down there, I feel they always have my back down there. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I just got back from Las Vegas. I went to probably my last, and I think the last TPE show for pretty much everyone in the cigar industry. If you're,
I have some different thoughts on that, but I'll let you run for now. Yeah.
In the grand scheme, I there's still going to be some people there, but it's
Right.
I don't think it's ever really going to be. It
never was gonna be that. I know. There was this illusion that they were gonna take over PCA. That was laughable, Matt. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I went to TPE. I know you wanted to go to TPE. You were unable to go.
I was supposed to go. I had a hotel, but I had some issues come up on my day job, so I couldn't do it. Yeah.
But I represented. Everyone asked how you were doing. I said Coop wishes he was here.
I did. I really did. I really wanted to go because I was looking forward to hanging out with everyone. Yeah.
And it was a great time. It was a great time off the floor. I mean, look, day one, I showed up an hour late because I was doing some stuff in Vegas before that I needed to attend to, and I figured,
slot machines, breakfast buffet.
Yeah,
riding
the heater at the blackjack table at Caesar's Palace. Although my mom won a lot of money on that trip, so that was good for her too. I was happy about that.
Good for her.
Yeah, she had the best fucking time. I mean, she got to meet her clots and Matt Booth and Terrence Riley.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Matt, my dad, it was on the docket to take him at some point, and it probably would have been a TPE, and I never had the chance to do it with him. So, yeah, I mean, it's happening.
Day 2.
So I'm glad you. Yeah.
Day 2, I was sitting down with Tom Lazuka, and we were having a nice conversation.
Well, I mean, they weren't busy, right?
No. So
That's of course. Like, here you go. They have a conversation.
we were sitting down. We were having a nice conversation. Just doing our thing. And she had texted me that she was coming over to the trade show because she was going to do some other stuff. I said, that's fine. I got to go to the floor. And
Right.
And she's like, oh, I'm going to come over. I got these things from this bakery I found. They're awesome. She's like, I spent like over $100 on pastries. I'm like, what?
Wow.
And I'm like, what's going on? So she like found some place in the hotel that's got like these nice French pastries. She bought a shit ton of them. Just this big round, like, decorative like box. Like the big round hat boxes?
Yeah, yeah.
It was like one of those, and it was like full of these pastries. She paid like over $100 for them. It was like tons of them in there. And I'm like, okay. And I'm with Tom, so I'm like, okay. And I put my phone down, and then I put it down like face down, and I didn't pay attention. So then I get up, and everybody I know who's like, hey, your mom's looking for you. Hey, your mom's looking for you. Hey, Les man, your mother's worried about you. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm 31 years old. Like,
They don't
what's going on? Like,
Matt, when you're a daughter, you're gonna be the same way. Trust me. Yeah.
And so and then I come to her. She's like, I bought all these pastries because I had one and it was so good, and I figured I'd buy one for a bunch of the people that you know here. And I was like, oh. So then we started going around booth to booth, and she started handing out these pastries to everyone. And then Nicholas Perdomo, his hands were really dry, which I think mine were really dry. His hands were starting to bleed. They were so dry. They were cracking. And he was like, I can't find any lotion, like, or anything from my hands, and like they're so painful. My mom like went out of her way. She went shopping, and she found like a really nice quality unscented hand lotion, and she like brought it to the Perdomo booth, and she gave him his lotion, and she gave him these pastries, and was like, here you go, blah blah blah. Made his day. He was all happy. And then she was like, oh, I got all these other ones. And I was like, what is this? She's like, oh, I figured I'd get them. And so like she started going around and passing them out. And everyone loved them too. So her class was like in a meeting or whatever. And I gotta like get his attention. I'm like, hey, when you're done. And he was like, he broke away. He's like, what's up? And then my mom's like, because she loves him. That's like one of her favorite people. And she's like, I got these things. He's like, oh. Immediately, like whatever he was doing at that table was like, I don't care about this anymore. He's like, what do you have? Terrence Riley, same thing. He was all about it. Les man, Les is all dressed up in the Dupont booth, and he's
Right.
He's sitting there in the middle of the Dupont booth, and he's eating this thing, and it's like it was croissant like, so like it was real, flaky and crummy, and made a mess. Oh yeah. She was handing them out to everybody. She kept handing them out till they were gone, and Andy Yaffe, and I think Miguel Shadell. So she had a great time. But the point is that show was quiet. And there was not a lot going on there. In terms of new releases, you can go to smokeandtobacco.com. You can see all the new releases. There was like maybe 10 or less total. And one of those was a company that was just debuting. So it wasn't really like it was just a new product. They were just showing themselves off for the first time. So they were new in general. And I think they will be at PCA. Via Lux. They make
I know you and I talked about them on the phone, yeah.
Yeah. They make a Super Lancero. It's like 11 by 40. I think it's 11 by 40. Comes in a carbon fiber tube. And then those come in a bigger round carbon fiber, like, round box, the tube-like box, with 10 inside. And he said that he has retailers selling them for $150 to $400 per cigar. And then they had a nice ashtray, also carbon fiber, that matches the rest of the packaging. 12 inches wide, diameter, round, with the grate on top, so that way all the ash and everything like kind of stays inside and it kind of looks clean. And that was $1,000. So pricey, but it's kind of cool looking. I didn't smoke the cigar, so I don't know how good the cigar is, but you know, another one of those. Let's check this out and see how it is. I think, like I said, I think they'll be at PCA, so I know you'll probably get a chance to meet them too. You know, another highlight was Vlad from Som Cigars, 3D printing boxes. Had the 3D printer at his booth. That was cool.
I like Vlad a lot. I was telling you, he's got good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, his cigars were pretty good. The boxes, that was a pretty cool concept. Matt Booth was there, with some new non-cigar related products as well, which we covered on the other show. I didn't specifically say what it was.
We don't need to know.
But all I can tell you is I was forced to stick my finger in it, and I don't know where that thing's been. And I also can tell you that Michael Herklotz thought way too much about it.
Well, I mean, they all thought about it because they had nothing to do there. I mean, honestly, it's funny that you get booth photos when these booths are dead, right? And I understand that you don't have time when the booth is busy, but man, take a picture of your booth hustling with activity, right? Not when your booth is dead. I mean, so, you know, it's just this industry. I sometimes just shake my head at how they leave money on the table for not making an effort to try to promote yourself once in a while.
No, Jay.
And yeah. Please.
No, Jay, it's not that, but you're on the right track. You don't want to know.
How about Matt getting some 15th anniversary cigars out instead?
I asked him, and he said no. I said, you know what? Instead, he showed up with...
Was Justin there?
I was told Justin was there, but I didn't see Justin.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, then that's because Justin is on vacation. I mean, so they probably said, well, you know, I'll kind of address this. I don't think this is the death of cigars at TPE.
In what way?
Okay. Well, I think there's going to be a fundamental change in how this show is covered, right? But I do think that there's two things that TPE will continue to attract the cigar industry for. Number one is the people who want low cost turnkey booths, the boutique companies. It's a good option for them. Mm-hmm. Who particularly don't have the money for PCA. It is a good option for them, so they can do that. And number two is anyone who's selling into a C-store. But you and I talked about this a little on the phone. What you are not going to see is you are not going to see a lot of the principles of this thing anymore.
No.
And it's going to be more, I think it'll be more rep-driven, kind of like how a lot of trade shows are.
Jay Davis said Justin was at the private poker table at the Bellagio. He probably
was. Yeah. But, yeah. So I think you'll see it that way. And then the other thing is the C-store pieces, which are cigarillos, small cigar. You know, I see Davidoff going there every year with the Zeno stuff. I mean, 'cause it's doing really well. So I see that, but you won't see the principles. And what that's going to mean is you probably already saw it, the decline of media will happen. This won't look. No one's going to a trade show to cover sales reps making sales. It is not. There's no value in even like doing that. Media go, but like I was looking to go because I do know there were some principles that were going to be there this year, right? So
some, not a lot.
Right, but there was no celebrities there this year. They haven't done a keynote in a long time, and you know, my goodness, I gotta just take it off to the PCA. The way they turned around that day one of the seminars was incredible. I give Scott Pierce a lot of credit with that, as well as the board for making some good decisions. But TP's gotten away from that. Their party is not a cigar party anymore.
No.
From what I understand. So there's no interest in that. And I, you know, so in the end, I think, but I don't think it will die, but I think it won't be something on the radar that you see any media covering. And the other thing is I put a little blame on the cigar companies because I'm going to say this, TP's they're wonderful folks who run that show. And I can't say They're always accommodating. They're great. So I don't want to.
They are.
TPE.
No, I agree. And don't get any of my criticisms
Yeah.
of the way cigars are presented. The TPE people are great.
Yeah.
They're so helpful. They take good care of the media. We get free badges. We get we get free nights today. It's like PCA. Jay, I know you're watching. I'm just saying.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Jay. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, by the way, number 3 was Cretech, which is an important relationship for our company. You pointed that out. So so they're great folks that run this show and everything. They put things out there a few years ago, Matt, for the cigar companies. They incentivized the cigar companies, saying if you make a product announcement, right, like we'll give you something in return. Like I think it was a boost discount or something. We're gonna
nice.
finance you. And you know how many companies took advantage of it? Almost none.
0.
Almost none. Because it's this.
I don't even know about that, but I already know the answer because I know how this business works.
Well, it's like, well, they worry about, and then they don't do it. We got to give it to aficionado first, blah, blah. It's like they're giving you incentives
aficionado.
to go. They're giving you incentives to go. And you're leaving money on the table. So the ones that did do it were, we got a cigarillo, we got a line extension, not a lot of excitement. Like, so there was, a few companies did some launches at TB Drew Estate and Altadis, particularly when they were gone from the PCA. They did do some, but for the most part, there was no major product launches happening there. So in the end, they really didn't get behind this show enough. That's why it never was going to change. Even when PCA was at the low point, people thought there was going to be no show. I said, there's no way that TP would ever top it, and it's clear it didn't. So,
it's funny. I wanted to I won't mention any names, but once again, the sucking of the teat of Cigar Aficionado is like, oh my god, it's painful to watch. It's almost as painful to watch as these people at the USA department. It's the people who went to a trade show and then the day after the trade show they announced a new product that was not on display at the show. It's like, what? What is that all about? Oh, but Cigar Aficionado got to hear about it first.
There's
like, what the fuck?
I think I talked to you in terms of some things.
Yeah.
There's points. There are companies I'm always gonna cover.
Yeah.
All right. If you're in the top 25 and if you're in the big four, and I have good relationships with you, I'm covering you. If you're outside that top 25 and you're making no effort to, and I publish that data every year. If you're outside that 25 and you're making no effort, I don't know what else to tell you. You just may not see coverage because I'm at a point, Matt. I'm doing this 15 years. I know what works and I know what doesn't work. And frankly, I feel like if I start chasing down these rabbits, right, who clearly don't even want to engage, right, then and I'm not talking about some of the companies with aficionado. I get they have deals, so this isn't a knock on the aficionado companies, but you're just not going to get if you're doing a 300-box release and you don't even want to talk about it, or you're going to make me wait till next week, next. I got take another number next because there's 25 companies.
All right, Alan, you're getting cut off. You're getting too. You start the paragraph's starting.
He should have cut off before the paragraph.
Well, I gave him, but now he's done.
Matt, 77% of the traffic comes from the top 25 companies read on Coop.
Yeah.
So I start looking at this data and I'm like, I'd love to cover everything. The opportunities to cover everything, but. If you just want to take this lazy ass approach to marketing and stuff, I don't care. Fine. We just won't cover you, and then you can yell at me at the trade show why I don't cover you, and I look forward to that conversation. And I don't want to hear how you don't have time to reply to an email or something like that.
I heard that one too.
Well, you told me a story about a company, and I went off the deep end when I heard that, right? Because it's like I'm like I just threw my arms. I said, you know what? This is why I'm taking a lot of these fundamental changes right now. And look, if you're in those top 25 companies, and the main thing is all those top 25 companies, there's a few of them that are a little difficult to deal with. Okay, I won't lie to you, but those are the ones I'm going to chase down because they got the numbers. Is what I'm saying. So they're not all like, hey, they're our best friends, right? Like there's one company, the company we were talking about is very highly read on Coop. So I mean,
Yeah, I know.
Well,
You know, and it's funny because when the rest of us peasants were finally worthy enough to get the press release on that, it went out. But I'll be honest with you, there was a staff hiring story that went out that did 3 times the traffic. So, that's interesting.
I've been so on the fence with staff hiring posts, right? Pretty much now, if you're a sponsor, I'll do it. If you kind of ask me nice, I'll do it, right? But but it is funny when a local rep is getting numbers for a hire. It shows you I was astonished, and we'll talk about Saka's hire, obviously. I probably was the most read local hire post I ever put up, and I put it up a day late after everyone else. Just so you know, most read one.
Yeah, I put it out later in the day, but yeah, it outperformed a major anniversary celebration release from a major manufacturer.
That one it did. And I know which one you're talking about. That one it didn't on Coop.
Which I thought was interesting, but that's what happens when it's already been out there for 4 days. So.
Matt, I'm okay if someone wants. Look, I'm not okay with it. I can. Live
I was gonna say, what do you mean?
I can live with it. It's the ones that say I don't have time to respond to you.
Oh, that's bullshit. I know.
And I'm telling you, I know this. Yeah, I don't have time to respond. I'd rather you just not respond to me, and then get back to me a day or two later and apologize. Right? I don't have time. This is like we're giving you a free service. If you're not interested enough in promoting the company you own or work for, next number on the butcher thing. I'm doing this 15 years, Matt, and it's like pulling on a rope. I think I told you I'm very frustrated with the state of covering cigar releases anymore. And like I said, I can live with a company that has these. Look, there was a major manufacturer who told me the reason why that he gives this to Aficionado, that he knows Marvin for 30 years. And he goes, how would you feel if I knew you for 30 years and suddenly I gave it to someone else? I appreciated the honest answer on that, okay? And by the way, that person's never embargoed the information for me either. But so I'm just saying I understand there's relationships out there, and I understand I'm not always first. It's this, I don't have time for you, or just I'm going to ignore your How many half-wheel articles do you read where they don't get back? Come on. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm just saying.
I thought you didn't read Half Wheel.
Well, I mean, I get the screenshot sent to me.
I
don't, Matt. I don't. So the answer is, this is the other thing. I don't worry about what Half Wheel's got and I got anymore. Occasionally, I see something, but I don't worry about that because otherwise I'm going to put myself into a grave. They're very good at what they do.
Oh no, they are. It wasn't a knock against them. I mean,
Yeah.
I love those guys.
Look. I think half the media reads Half Wheel more than their own sites. I'm going to be very honest. I'm dead serious about that.
I think so.
There are people. I can tell you, there's people who read because then when I look at their sites, I'm like, you said this. So, but they always know what Half Wheel says. So yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. I love when I get into a circle of some smaller media guys and they're all talking about something on Half Wheel, and I'm like, what do you guys cover?
Well, there are some media guys who don't cover news. Like, I'll give you a good example. One is Matt Todd. He's pretty much he never really got into that. So they don't. And
it's not for the faint of heart. It's news coverage is a bitch, but we get it done.
They don't care. The industry doesn't. You know how I get most of my news, Matt. It's not from the manufacturers.
It's from the retailers.
Because they do a better job at communicating with the retailers. And I figured that out. They do a better job. Because we've been talking about how many of these, we talked about this a few months ago, they're always communicating with the retailers. And it was like pulling on a rope. It was easier to go to the retailers.
Yeah. Well, and the sad thing is like, there's a majority of retailers out there who, and I hear it from and I hear it from manufacturers. So don't chase after me. The manufacturers tell me themselves, like how it goes with a lot of the retailers. There are a lot of them are hobbyists that got into this because they thought it was fun, but they don't actually really know the business. They do. Yeah, I know. And then you got people who are like, this is our job. We're waiting for it, and you don't tell us, but you tell the guy who's like, Oh, I don't give a fuck. We're just going to get it and put it on the shelf. Like, they don't even fucking care. Tell us.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
consumers know about it. The retailer doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's going to show up in a shipment, or they're going to send it back, or they're going to be like, all right, I'll put it on the shelf. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So you'll see the big
Waste of
board
time.
on Coop. You'll see a big board on Coop with all the product releases. We'll still have that.
Where's
I don't know how
Jay?
much
Jay is a retailer. Speak up on this.
Now, in terms, I can say Jay doesn't get stuff sometimes that we get too. So, but the big board will be up on Coop. I don't know how much detail I'm going to cover on all these releases this year. Because
pertaining
again,
to the trade show?
Yeah, there'll be.
Yeah.
I put the big board up, and then
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to still keep the board up to date, and that's my commitment. But there's certain ones you're just not going to see the link because there's not going to be a link.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be. It's just I have to kind of just. I've realized I can have better numbers. Less is more. Is what I'm saying. I can have better numbers covering less, and it's really up to folks to step up if they want to kind of get into that 23%. That's outside the top 25. The numbers are there. I can't argue the numbers. You know, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know what to tell people.
See, look at this. Jay Davis, the illustrious owner of Blue Smoke of Dallas, a real retailer. Like some of the other greats, like David Garofalo and Kurt Kendall, Abe DeBobna, Jeff Borshowitz, to name a few. Matthew Tabacco, you're right. Most retailers don't care. A minority like me do. Yeah, I know. You know how many times I've been into a shop? Coop, I know you've been into some shops. I mean,
yeah.
Look, and there's a lot of good shops. Like I just named off all the big ones. Those guys are great. You know, Two Guys, Twins, Corona, Smokin', Blue Smoke, you know, Federal over in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. They're great. Jack Schwartz Importer, Chicago. Great place. You know, Club Humidor, I hear great things about. I've never been there, but I hear great things about them. Ambassador in Arizona, Vartan's place. You know, hear great things about it. Those are retailers who I know, or you know, even if I haven't been to this, I've been to most of those shops. But even if I haven't been, I know the people, and they're great people, and I know they know what they're doing. But I've also been into a lot of these little shops, a lot of hole-in-the-wall places, and I walk in there, and I'm like, I'm horrified, and I'm like, what is this place? Like, is this where like cigars go to die? Like, I don't know. Like, those are the shops where like. People, they don't give a fuck. You think?
Yeah.
Do you think those people are gonna give a shit that La Flor Dominicana is like, oh, we're only telling the retailers, but guess what we're doing? They're gonna be like, that's cool. Like, they don't give a fuck. They don't.
No.
They don't. You know, and it's sad. And and shame on the manufacturers who truly believe that they do, and don't give them like perfect example. There was a major Dominican brand based out of Florida, Coral Gables, who had a staffing change several months ago. And they was specifically told that the one of the main ownership personnel specifically didn't want it to go to the media, so she decided to send a press release out to retailers. But didn't want the media to write a story. My response to the person who told me that was, tough shit, that's not how it works. If we want to write a story, we're going to write a story. I don't give a shit if you don't want the media to write it, so you're just going to send it to the retailers. We're still going to find out. The retailer told me, and I wrote the story. You don't, like, these manufacturers that are under the impression of, like, the media, like, I don't want them to write a story. We're going to write a story.
Well,
we're going to write a story.
There was one release where it was sent to the retailers. And in there, they asked the retailers to not post the picture or share it until a certain date. And if they do that, and I'm in a conversation with a retailer, I will make sure I honor that, not to expose anyone. So I feel that, because I feel in that case, and in most cases with the retailers, I don't have the right to use the picture to begin with, right? But I just said, okay, all right, you know what? You want to have a trust thing with that. I thought it was stupid that they did that, but. Okay, or if you tell someone under a non-disclosure, and a couple of times, hey, I was told you can't, don't write. Of course, I'm not going to do that. But once you send, I've said this to every person. Once you send that out to a retailer, it's public knowledge, unless you specify other. It's up to you to say no.
That's what I always say.
It's public knowledge. I got into huge trouble with Placencia over something with that, and I'm like, but it was sent by your staff. So it wasn't like made up. So what I'm saying is, it's out there. You're probably better off doing a press release just because you can control the narrative a little better with that. And I have seen releases where there's something sent to the media and there is something sent to the retailer, and it does differ. And sometimes it's much more beneficial to get that media one, is what I'm saying. And we should, but other companies, they don't want to do that. And then that's where the message gets misconstrued. Now, if it's easy enough for me to just call my retailer and say, hey, what do you got? What did you get in the email this week? It's easy to do that. Then I'll write it. If it's like, sometimes the information is not complete enough either, and I'm not going to write about it. If there's not pricing information, availability dates, and so then there's no point in writing it.
Right.
I would really ideally like the photos, and a lot of times I've gone back and asked for the photos, and some have given it to me, and some is like, well, you're not supposed to have that information, and I'm like, hey, it's out there. We can do it the easy way, the hard way. So, but I'm gonna cut back on some of this back and forth now because it's like, I got enough on my plate right now that I don't need more of a headache.
So, after my last comment, speaking of speaking of media, did you see LFD's Insta? Pro Curator Humidor with Maduro Bowls. Looks sexy. Oh, ProCigar with Maduro Bowls? See, all right, let's call LFD out again. So,
No,
I didn't see that, but what's funny is I remember when the NFT thing. Well, no, this is interesting. I remember when the NFT cigars came out, and we asked them, it's like, all right, so you got the original bowl. They did that Toro. They did that Toro version of the Andalusian Bull for Jack Schwartzhunter, but that was a one and done. And then they did the Lonsdale NFT cigar, and then they were like, yeah, we're not going to do any other bowls because we feel like, we shouldn't keep adding to it. It'll, to keep.
But that's a charity release. They're doing it pro, so that's not getting released.
Oh,
that's
okay.
A private one-off.
So I'm like, so now it's another variation of the bowl. Like, what's this? But okay, all right. I didn't know about this. So
yeah. The ProCigar auction stuff is usually unique stuff. If you read Half Wheel, you'll make it. It's more. They get into the wrapper binder film. I don't know. So we give it coverage, but it's less about on Coop what the cigar is. It's usually a one of a kind type of thing, and a one of a kind package is what it is. Is what you see with that. So some of that stuff does it make it to market occasionally? Yeah, it does. But I guarantee, like they have done. There were other bull humidors they've done for ProCigar in the past as well. So I don't think that's anything.
Well then, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and they do some amazing LFD's contribution to that.
Oh yeah, they're one of the major manufacturers. I mean, in Lito Gomez is president of the Pro Cigar, which I think is great because I think he's the kind of person that group needs right now.
Listen, that the thing what they do at the auction, and this is the first time I went to I've always left the day early with ProCigar to go to Great Smoke, right? Last year I decided I wanted to stay for the auction is by far the highlight of the week because one, it raises a lot of money, but it's like going and seeing art. It's really like going and seeing tobacco, art, cigar art kind of, because they go all out with these humidors.
Well, it's just like the Habanos Festival. They always do the $3 million Cohiba humidors and shit like that. I know it's different, but it's like the same kind of idea.
Yeah, and they don't. Yeah, I mean, maybe someday the Dominican will get to that level of money. They don't. They do pretty well with it, and everyone's really committed to that charity. Is the other thing I see, and I can tell you, I talked about this. Michael, who's the auctioneer, make sure, because I went with Michael to the auction a few hours early because we were taking that plane together, and oh my goodness, this guy, he's got to work on understanding all the pieces before, in a short amount of time. And he does amazing prep work with that. So, again, I gotta the auction is something special. If you go to ProCigar and you miss the auction like I had in previous years, you're making a big mistake. That is the highlight of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Herklotz definitely is known for a lot of things, and that auction is definitely in probably the top 3 of those things he's known for. I mean, he's been to. I think he told me he's been to every ProCigar since day one. I don't think he's ever missed one.
Yeah, and another guy who works the auction is Fred Rui. Now, Fred is
that's true.
he's a spotter. So he's the guy He's in there's a couple other spotters. Christian Hudson, who's a retailer in Missouri, is one. And they tried to get me one year, and I just said, this is, no. But it turned out I wasn't going to be there, right? So, but what they do is they have to look in the crowd and see
who's holding up the paddle.
Who's who's bidding. So very hard. That's a hard. I'm glad I never did. I'd rather just take pictures of the president. So.
Like you did last year.
Yeah,
you did good though. You did good though. You got great coverage of that guy.
I was the only one in the media who reported and had pictures. And there were other media there. I'm just gonna say I don't know how other media did it, because they could have had that opportunity. How many
real media was there? Like you Half Wheel. I think Dojo was there. Cigar Aficionado was probably there.
Cigar Press was there.
Yeah.
Cigar Snob was there. Cigar Journal was there.
So all the mags were there. Yeah.
About a dozen. There's not a lot of media invites that go out. I'll tell you that. So as you know, but Charlie did write about it. I'll say that Charlie did write about it. But like I said, look. I love the PCA. They were there. The PCA didn't even mention that the president of the Dominican was there. So
they were there for the vacation.
No, Matt,
I know. I'm just kidding.
In all seriousness, I think it's good that they're there. They need to see.
Well, they should be. I had a good talk with Josh Abersky at TPE about it.
They should be.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I gave him feedback. He said some things to me. Yeah, I agree.
And I've seen Josh there, and Josh isn't there to like Josh said, have fun. Don't get me wrong, but Josh is very engaged on these tours, and he's in full mode absorbing stuff, and I think it's good because I think previous regimes of the IPCPR did not do this, and it helps them to understand a lot better what's going on in these countries. So I think I actually think it was good.
Speaking of media, Coop, I hope you're visiting the school. So the Performing Arts Center is done. Nice.
Yeah, I have a rotation I go through. So I pretty much go through a rotation of which factories I do. And if I can't get into it, then so I have to look at what my rotation is. I actually have a fourth factory I'm going to visit off the ProCigar because I'm going to be there a day early this year. So,
are you willing to share which factory?
Yeah, Davidoff.
Oh, Davidoff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think, but what I do is sometimes I see if I can switch in and out certain things. I don't want to say the other ones just because then it's going to look like I'm bumping
picking favorites. Yeah.
But I will say that was not available to me when the media had to register, unfortunately. So that would be so.
Well, the media doesn't get to register until the very last minute.
Yeah. So I really want to go to Performing Arts Center. I've been to the CFCF before.
Beautiful
great
place.
thing, but yeah. But the other thing is I am going to new factories I haven't visited this year. So that's another important, because the idea is, look, we don't want to cover the same. Look, I go on the floor one every year. And the Reyes one every year. They're great. But you have to, you do have to rotate it. And the idea is then the factories, and when you rotate every 3 or 4 years, there's upgrades that happen to these factories and things like that.
Yeah, those factories are always, upgrading and developing. I know LFD I think they bought some more land. I think they built some more stuff.
Yeah.
The Fuentes are always increasing their size.
Yeah. A lot of people.
Who else?
Well, Carrillo did a major one last
Carrillo, that's right. They did Casa Carrillo. Yeah.
Casa Carrillo underwent, and I was lucky this again. This was luck that I had that factory booked, and they were unveiling the Casa Carrillo. Like I found out the day I got there, so it was a big deal. And that was a major rebranding of the factory. They just put a new sign outside. The whole factory changed inside. So it was a big deal to be there for that. And I got access. I think everyone knows about my man crush on Mikey. I think the guy is hands down. Just when it comes to factory operations, he is the real deal. And I got to meet him, and that's someone. He was actually up in your area, actually.
I was just gonna say, I remember
which is rare. It's
I remember when
extremely rare.
I remember I told you when I met him, and that was the first time I ever seen you get chubby. I was like, "Whoa!" You were like, "Oh, did you meet him? Oh my god!" I was like, "Yeah."
Jay had to call me. It was great. I didn't, and I had to figure out. It took a minute. Like, that's Mike. Yeah, I got on phone. He's like, so I was like, because I don't know if Mike even knew who I was. Jay said he did, right? So,
Right.
But again, you get to meet people like that, which is amazing. To see some of that stuff. So
The legendary blender. I mean,
well,
you know,
he's Behike.
yeah.
And he has changed. He has changed what that factory is. I don't want to say Ernesto. Ernesto has his way of doing things, but Mikey now comes in with a different perspective, and you're seeing a lot of the results of that right now. By the way, I did smoke the Endure, the Cameroon.
I have them. I haven't smoked it yet, but I have them.
Yeah,
They're resting.
It's a good cigar. Yeah.
Mirafel Cameroon, right?
Mirafel Cameroon.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really good. One thing I did hear though, you know how they have the Essence series and they're going to do 6 blends.
Yes.
The Cameroon, they had one that was Cameroon. That one is kind of, I don't want to say they're not doing it, but they may not have enough tobacco to do it at least now. So that may be deferred a little.
Oh.
They haven't said no to it, but we asked the question on it to them. I asked them, someone else I know actually asked the question. I don't want to say it was me, but yeah. Well, but they only could get so much of that Cameron, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they grow a lot of it, but in the grand scheme, I mean, there's only so much, and we know where most of it goes. So, not that that's a bad thing, but it's not a lot for everyone to have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but to see a release using it, it's like, well, that's a big deal, and it's exciting. So, I'm excited to smoke those.
Yeah, it is. It's a box press Cameron too, which is interesting.
Yes.
And so.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to try those out. That's going to be good. Anyway, what else was I going to say? I feel like we covered most of what we needed to cover for TPE. I mean, the only other thing I'll say was next year, so we didn't say it, but I think people know now. Next year, the TPE show is going to be 2 weeks before PCA.
Yeah, I know because of the dates, I can't go to TP next year. Regardless,
it
has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with the 3 weeks beforehand. That is a weekend I cannot go, so I won't be missing TPA again. I do want to go back to it. It's not like I said. It's not that I don't want to go back. I do want to go back to it. Like that, I was planning on. I was planning on going this year.
Oh, I know. We were trying to coordinate. Yeah.
Yeah. So the things happen sometimes that have to take priority. And Matt, when I look back at it, I made the right call here. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to do what you got to do. I get it.
Yep.
It worked out, I think, for everyone, I guess.
Not for me, but yeah.
Not for you, but in the grand scheme, it sounds like you had to do what you had to do.
Yeah.
ProCigars next week. Pure Sabor already happened, which I heard was a little rough this year. And then that's it before PCA. And then, it's almost time. It's almost time. PCA is right around the corner, and it's almost time for Nolans. A lot of gumbo, jambalaya, and oysters.
I actually am going to Great Smoke this year. So,
really?
I'm going to be down there that weekend. It'll be a short, quick weekend I'm in, though, but I will be down to Great Smoke. That's a little easier because it's a Saturday, and I can get down there.
Yeah.
I will be a Great Smoke this year. I know there's there's a Guy Fieri release. I think Saka's got his TG. I think it's already sold out. The Saka TGS. So I mean it will be pretty good. But I have a long partnership with Abe, so I do try to go when I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're on the KMA
Yep.
show. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. I don't cover. Like, what's great is I just get to go down there and enjoy myself. And I tell people, they go, "You're gonna be busy." I said, "No, they have the virtual smoke. They have Hercots and Paul and those guys
Is he?
doing it.
Are they doing that this year?
They're doing it this year. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I don't have to do anything. I'm down there really to observe, and usually I'll give them an article or we'll do a show or something like that, and we'll kind of nail it down that way. They certainly don't need me to sell tickets for them, and they certainly don't need me to recap it. But there's always interesting things. I think I try to always like have a set of eyes and observe things. Not a vacation for cigar people for that event. They work hard at that event. For all the kidding I gave the cigar industry for resting and relaxing at TPE, Great Smoke is a work event for these guys. Let me tell you, no one's on vacation there, so except me. I'm on vacation there. You can say you want to say I'm absolutely on vacation there.
You're
I'm
on
not gonna try to hide
vacation. Look, you're on vacation at ProCigar. I've seen you at ProCigar.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
You're
not.
living it up. You're living it up, going to Saga, having tomahawks, and hanging out with people.
Usually I go to Saga before the festival. No, I'm telling you, I am physically exhausted.
I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah, it is really rough. Yeah. It is. I'm 57 now. I'm not 27. It's a lot harder to do it. Yeah.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I know. Look,
but you
I'm
do a
the
good
first
job.
One, thank you. I'm the first one to say if I'm on vacation somewhere, I'm on vacation. Like Great Smoke, I'm on vacation. If I went to TPE, I was on vacation. Right? But I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. But that is not a vacation. And look, to give people an idea, it's like I'm writing sometimes at 2 to 3 in the morning. Because I'm committed to daily
I know
content.
that. Yeah.
And then I'm up at 8 in the morning getting on a bus somewhere. So it is not easy, I'm just telling people. Yeah.
Yeah, people ask me, when does Coop sleep? I said between the hours of 3 and 5 a.m.
Well, this
That's
year,
when he sleeps.
What I did last year, though, is I left the nighttime events much earlier. Because I learned if I want to have a little cigar time with people, too, I'll go to the event for about an hour and a half and then leave. The auction was the exception, and then Tony Gomez's proposal was happening, and we stayed late for that. So that was one I stayed late for, but that was a very good reason. So.
Oh yeah, that's special.
Yeah, it's special. Tony's a great guy. So, So I mean, but the other nights I was 9:30. I was out. So that made it a little easier. And I'll say ProCigar's been very accommodating with the host hotels because the hotels are spread all over, but they get us into the central hotel so we can actually have a little time in the morning is what I'm saying. So I'm very grateful for that. They really have accommodated me on that.
Coop, you're the same age as my mom, apparently. I never put those two together.
Well, your mom's half my age, I'm sure, in terms of energy, right?
I don't know, maybe.
If I'm the same age, she's a lot younger version of me, is what I'm just saying. So.
I think she drinks a lot less Diet Coke.
Well, Diet Coke is a. Yeah, like I said, I was a little envious of you, Matt. Like you guys, you went with your mom, and like I said, it was hard because my dad, I never got to do that with him. And it just And I won't get into all the reasons with that either, but in the end, he just couldn't physically do it either. So, and I wanted to take him to Cuba. That was the one place
that would have been cool, yeah.
Well, because of the cars. I mean, he just would have went. When I showed him my trip to Cuba, he's like, "I want to go." I'm like, I don't know if that would have been rough for him even though at his age. That's why I kind of stalled it.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. So, but he was mesmerized by the cars, obviously, because he would love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, it's, the opportunity was there, and I figured this is a good time to go. It would be harder to, do it with PCA because, as you know, I mean, that show is,
yeah.
That show is work. And we have very little time to do a lot. So, and this year, my plans might even be getting tossed up again. I will be there no matter what, but I don't know. My daughter is looking like she's gonna have to have surgery, so yeah. So it's tough, but we gotta do it. I mean,
you guys know what I dealt with last year.
And my mom's gonna have more surgery. She just had something going on this week, and then she's gonna have her shoulder fixed, and it's yeah.
I was like about a half hour away from leaving the show last year when my son Steven had
I do, yeah. Yep.
So it was very rough. And my wife actually and Steven himself told me to stay. I don't know if you made the right decision. And it turned out it was more serious than I was even led on to believe. It was a very serious situation he went through. But I had a lot of confidence. The guys weren't even telling me if you need to go. I had confidence they could do it. But it was tough. My mind was not like I tell them that first day. Everyone remember the whole thing with the media access problem.
Oh my God!
That was the last thing on my mind. Okay, while this is going on, I'm finding out that my son is going in for an emergency operation. Right, so that was I could care. I'm like, guys, I could care less about this right now. So that's why I didn't. It is.
Respectfully, if you didn't have personal issues going on, you would have been the biggest fucking voice about it.
Well, I don't think I would have went on social media with it though. That's not the way I approached things.
No, but you would have got Jay on the phone and been like, Jay, what the fuck?
Well, I did find Jay. Don't get me wrong. But I had other things on my mind certainly because literally right after I spoke to Jay, like what's going on here is my phone rings from North Carolina. So. And that so it was, like I said, it's rough. I know it's rough when we do these types of things. It's work and you feel commitments to it. But you got to remember we all have lives at home too. And that's always should be over burning leaves and chasing down interviews. It suddenly doesn't become important.
Yeah, no, believe me, I know. And it makes it tough. The last couple of years with the trade shows, we've covered them. We've got it done. And believe me, we made it look better than it was. I mean, first of all, TPE was a vacation last year. I wasn't there, but a former member of our team was sent, and I heard he spent more time waiting in line to meet celebrities and hanging out with people than really even covering the show. Now going to the show this year, yeah, I could probably see that, but still, PCA last year, again, people were having a hard time, getting around on the show floor, and I had to work, overtime to kind of pick up the slack. The year before that, I kind of went with a somewhat different group because I didn't have Nicole with me like I always do because she was pregnant with Anastasia, and so I kind of had to.
I have a great
manage.
I have a great moment story to tell. I think Matt, you heard me talk about it. So Matt's covering the trade show. This was the year. Was this year? Nicole went when she was pregnant, right? Oh no, it was a wedding year. It was a wedding year. And
the wedding year was 22. Yeah.
She got sick, right?
Yep. I forgot about that one too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm of all places by the Room 101 booth, right?
Oh, God.
And I'm dealing with Boofy, right? And Matt comes walking, like kind of hustling. Hey, Matt, what's going on? And Matt was like, Matt was in, I don't know, you were having some sort of equipment issue. He goes in back of the room. I can see Matt was stressed beyond, and you just know, hey, obviously something was going on. And I didn't even know Nicole was sick at that point either. So.
Oh yeah, she wasn't on the floor. The camera wouldn't shoot.
The camera wouldn't shoot, and Matt was just like.
I was all alone. And it was tough.
Matt, but I give it you. Look, that's the commitment Matt was making. He wanted to make sure you get back on there and make sure you get that coverage. And you just know too when someone's having a bad day, you back off a bit. But it was like the cyclone that came through, and then you went back behind the Room 101 booth where they had the stripper pole. I say to you, that's where he's starting to fix his camera.
I'm fixing my camera. Matt's back there stuffing a bagel into his mouth, and then Jeremy from Wildfire Cigars is swinging around and slapping his ass on that stripper pole. And Abe Froman from Arizona is sticking his head in like, what's going on? And I'm like, what's going on? I don't know.
And Justin's doing nothing in the Room 101 booth.
I wasn't going to say it, but.
I went to Justin. I'm like, can you get us a cup of coffee or something? I'm like,
Coop's out front, like asking all the hard-hitting questions. Do you know what
like,
kind of
"Dude,
wrapper
what do you-"
binder filler is in here? I need to know. What factory is this made out of?
We're trying to ask you. And we're doing with Matt on top of all. I'm like, Justin, what do you? And Justin's making a comment. Can you go get us some coffee? We could kind of use a little caffeine here. Like, I'm busy. I'm working.
Well, you know,
Justin. I kid him a lot, but he's a good dude, wrestling. Yeah.
well, you know, we always say, it's like, it's the Super Bowl. But imagine being at the Super Bowl, and the first quarter, you score a touchdown and a field goal, not bad.
Right.
And then you get to the second half and you have a soft lead, but a lead nonetheless, and then all of a sudden you're down 12 points, and you're like, okay, this kind of sucks, and then you let another touchdown go by, and now you're going into the fourth quarter, and you're like, what the fuck am I going to do? That was that moment, That was that moment, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. And luckily, like the great Tom Brady, I was able to move the ball down the field and win the game. But, it's not easy to do. So
No, look, we had one. I think the year after we left our batteries back at the SD card back at the
house
compound. Yeah, we had to go back for that. We've had guys have personal issues as well, and Nielsen had to go home in 23. We sent him home. We made him go home, but he knew. We hate but things happen sometimes, and
did I see his dad's going on tour with Rod Stewart?
Believe so. He's toured with Rod Stewart before. He came to Charlotte. So Ben went to that show actually. I was at the time. I didn't go to that show because I was that was the weekend I was in Boston with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was in Boston that week. That was an unexpected trip I had to take. So, but Ben was giving me like reports from that show, which is it was great. And Aaron's dad, Rick, is, for folks that don't know, he's the founder of Cheap Trick, and he's such a nice guy. Yeah, I interviewed him once. He sent me birthday greetings. He's salt of the earth, this guy. So. And funny is, Aaron. I think of Aaron as a cigar guy now, not Rick's son in a lot of ways.
I know. I look at Aaron like he's another media guy. I see him like, hey, what's going on? He's like, hey, how's it going? Then
He's our utility guy.
He's awesome.
He is awesome. And I basically said to him, I want you on this team. However, we can work with you. I wanted to be. If it becomes stressful, you let me know. We back it off a bit. So, and he's been nothing when we've answered for anything, and he works really hard at the show. So. He will always be, as far as we've been fortunate. So we looked at Trip and Dennis did a great job for us last year. They added a whole other component that we didn't have. So we're but it's hard. It's getting harder to take a bigger team now to the show.
It's getting more expensive too.
Expensive, but the moving parts are tougher.
Yeah,
that's what it's like now. You have to kind of coordinate all this stuff after the show. So
yeah, I mean
that's another reason why we're like, look, it's harder for us to go wider right now, and if it's not, we can't, we'd rather go deeper with some of this other stuff. So
last year I had to command a team of 5 on that floor. It's not easy to do, but we got it done because that's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a rough. It's not fun. You think it's fun? We do look back at the memories fondly, but it is not fun.
Yeah, I know. It's the PCA show is nothing like TPE. I mean, the moment you walk on that floor, I mean, it's a lot to do. I mean, it's harder. There's a lot to cover in a short amount of time, and I tell you, experience is key. You have to know how to navigate that trade show. You can't just go into a booth and stand around for 45 minutes waiting for someone to finish. Like, no, you have to know how to bounce and get in and get out. I mean, it's not you're not there to hang out. It's not playtime. Like Jay said, PCA is not fun. It's work. It is. It's work, and it's a big deal.
Yeah, when I went to TPE in 2020, they gave me the opportunity to interview Carl Malone. And I was supposed to go to booth, and that was the only interview I was doing, by the way. And I was
He's
gonna
a
go
good guy.
to Booze.
I met Karl Malone.
Oh, he's a great guy, right?
Yeah.
And then they tell me about an hour before, hey, we want to do it in the, they have that media room, right? And I'm like, and I'm like, well, I can't say no, right? But I'm concerned because you know how it is getting people off the floor, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is where I got to give it off to the TPE staff and Antoine, who was working for them at the time. They got him to me. They really did. They worked out those logistics. They got him to me on time. But you know how hard to get someone off out of the booth is very tough to do anything. So, and he was great. I was a nervous wreck. The one thing they asked me not to do, and this was Carl did not want to talk basketball. He said, "I'm here for the cigar show." And I was fine with that, and we had plenty to talk about. He
didn't.
really cool
he
guy.
didn't. He didn't. Well, you know what? He didn't want to get asked about how he lost to Michael Jordan in the finals twice. So.
No, but I would have asked him when he clotheslined Isaiah Thomas. Because that was one of my.
That was
I
good. Yeah. No. I didn't like Isaiah Thomas either.
I signed the pink slip outside Madison Square Garden to get him fired, and I was in New York, and it made the news of me signing the pink slip.
Yeah.
The camera got me signing it. It's a big pink slip. You have this big pen, and you're signing your name to get him fired.
Yeah, I never liked Isaiah Thomas either.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
that whole Pistons era, late '80s, '90s. Yeah. Just.
They were
They were the bad boys. They were the bad boys, and then the Bulls came along and were like, yeah, you ain't shit. And that was the end of that. They got Dennis Rodman though. They got Dennis Rodman.
You know, the team that came closest to knocking the Bulls off was the Knicks in that '92 when
Pat Riley.
When they went 7 games with the X-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And the X-Man pretty much kept them in that series, and then they dopes let him go to the Celtics, right? I couldn't believe they let him go. He was the whole reason why the Bulls were only taking 7 games. But people don't realize the Bulls only went 7 games twice in that 6 championship one. The Pacers took them 7, and the Knicks took them 7. That was it. No one else went 7 with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Well, and then in recent news, Pat Riley traded Jimmy Butler to the Warriors.
Yeah, you gotta. You gotta. He's a
bad
malcontent.
attitude.
And I always like the Miami teams, right? Except when they play my teams. But yeah, I mean, get rid of get rid of that guy. And look, he was on the Sixers, and he didn't want to be with the Sixers, even though I hated the fact they gave him away. But yeah,
I know, but you have to. At that point.
I'm done with the Sixers, by the way, just so you know. They're so bad.
So you're done with the Sixers? You're done with the Giants?
Well, if the Sixers ain't a Giants situation where, now it's go Jets for me. You know that, right?
But why? The Jets, what are they going to do?
Well, there's a reason. Steve Wilkes got the DC job, and Steve Wilkes is my guy. And I stick by my friend.
Look,
So
I appreciate that. But it's the Jets. I mean,
yeah, he could be the difference maker. I'm telling you, he changed the culture with the Carolina Panthers when he was here. He did he
sounds like
gotten
a
that coaching.
fair-weather fan to me.
I don't care if I'm a fair weather fan. I'm 57 years old. I'm tired of wasting my money and energy and emotions on this stuff anymore. You want to call me a fair weather fan? I could take it. That's nothing. But I am not like, Giants for life, done. No, they've done nothing. What about Coop for life? What about your fans for life? No, I'm not doing that. You want to call me a fair weather? Fine, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I get called. I get called it a lot too. I don't let it bother me. So I'm fine. I can live with it. I support my friend.
No, I respect that. I mean, you should stick by your friends.
Yeah. He was he was he's like I said, he's a Charlotte guy. He's a good guy. And I did have him on the show. And he was great on the show, by the way. So, and he loves cigars. So
it was weird. So I have the monitor with me here, and she's been sleeping. She goes to bed around 7:00. And I just looked over, and she's sitting right up in the bed, and she's like, And I'm like, oh, fuck. She's up, she's awake.
Yeah.
And then She just went back over and fell back to sleep. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wait till you put. Yeah, then you'll be putting a GPS tracker in a car when she's 15. I didn't do that with my daughter, by the way, but I did think about it.
Yeah, no, we'll be doing that too. That's that's another reason why we live in New Hampshire, because it's more gun friendly. When that first time that kid comes over, be like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. You talk about like
she'll be home at 9:30.
Your mother was saying she's the same age as me, but my oldest kid is older than you. She's only 33.
Well, she had me young. She was 23, 24 when she had me.
Yeah, well, do the math with me. It was 24.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm 31. So.
Yeah, and Timmy, my next oldest, is going to be 30 this year. So, I just need a grandkid. That's kind of what I'm like, I need a grandkid.
Yeah, that's where we got you beat. We got one going.
Well, but I'm never going to put pressure on anyone with them. So.
No. No. I mean, I remember the times when it was like, you better be careful, you're gonna get pregnant. And now it's like, so when are you gonna have another one? When are you gonna have another one? When are you gonna have another one?
Look, my dad, I love. He was the classic double standard with me. He was like patting me on the back from a girl. With my sister, like, you better be home at 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was absolutely. He was like, and then
that's right.
My dad would he'd rate the women I brought home.
He'd rate them.
He loved Lisa, by the way. He loved Lisa. It was funny. That's the highest rate he ever gave. So much.
Yeah, that's why you guys got married, because you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna get better than this. I gotta lock it down.
I dated Lisa in high school, but then we went separate ways on very good terms. Nothing bad. We got back together later in the later years of college is what happened. So, but he remembered.
Oh, I just lost your audio. Mid-sentence is like The Sopranos. It just like that. I don't know what happened. I was really getting into that too. Anyway, while you fix that, Alan said New Hampshire state motto is more guns, less taxes. Actually, no, Alan, it's not. In the great state of New Hampshire, our motto is live free or die. All right? Get it right. We live free up here. We don't let people hold us down. Oh, and now Coop's gone. Oh, you gonna call back in? All right, let's try it out. There we go. I hear you.
I'm back. Yeah.
It's all right.
I don't know what happened.
I took the opportunity to put Alan in his place. Same difference. No, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm not gonna even go there.
A car with tracking too. Yeah, same difference.
No Hablangos.
Yeah,
I like cigars.
I like cigars. What are you, Jose Blanco? Oh, no hablo inglés.
Matt Tighe, I like cigars, and Jose Blanco's no habla inglés. When he asks Jose and he doesn't want to tell you something, it's no habla inglés, and I know to move on.
Oh, Jonathan Carney's here with us. He came out of nowhere. I know what happened. I happened. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! There he is. That's John's way of saying, I'm here now. He's like, I know what happened. I happened. Boom.
He's a...
That one went over your head a little bit, but it's okay. Carney's here. Carney's here. Jonathan Carney's here. I wish he was on with us. I like when he's on the show. Yeah. He likes to,
We had him on Tuesday night. Yeah, it was the first time I've had him
That's
on.
right, big game show.
Yeah, it was the first time I've had him on, though, since he went to Bentley. So,
that is correct, Alan. I'm trying to use Ecamm currently in Acid's Toy Tool Coop. What? What is that? I'm trying to use Ecamm currently in Acid's Toy Tool Coop out.
Oh. That's what happened. It was literally him. It was literally him.
Well, John, are you trying to use Ecamm to join us or do something completely different?
I think I know why he's trying to use Ecamm.
Is he trying to come on with us?
No.
Oh.
No, I think he's just playing around with stuff.
Jay Davis, have Carney join. I don't need to invite Carney on the show. He knows he's allowed to just drop in on the show anytime he wants.
He's still on the opening credits for Spare Notes.
I know. People keep telling me, like, you got to update the thing. Carney's not on the show. And I'm like, I know. But funny enough, Carney's the one that makes the intro. So it's like my mercy is with him. So I don't know. I know. Gender reveal live stream tomorrow. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. He announced that on Coop. That's why I didn't want to say it, but yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
I mean, I knew he was having another one, but I didn't know how public it was, so I didn't want to say anything either. But okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Gender reveal. He'll tell me. I'm gonna ask him. I'll ask him after the show. That way, my face doesn't give it away. But John, just text me and tell me what it is, because I want to know. I know he'll tell me. I hope he's having a boy. You know, he needs a little bro. He needs a little bro. I lost your audio again. What's going on, Coop? Oh my god. Carney's fucking around. I'm losing the audio. Damn it. I don't know the gender. Oh, you don't? Oh. Really? Okay. All right. All right, let me ask you a question. We're streaming it live on Facebook around 5:30. All right, perfect. Right before the big game. All right, I got you back now. All right. So Carney said he actually doesn't know the gender. We're live streaming it on Facebook around 5:30. All right. So, what do you think, boy or girl?
Boy.
I'm going for boy too.
Happy. You know, I always take the attitude. Whatever, it's a blessing either way.
Oh, me too. I always told, me and Nicole talked about if we have another one, like if we had a boy, it would be nice. We got one of each. But if we had another girl, I would not complain either. So
we had a girl first, and then I got blessed with 3 boys after that. So, you know, that's how it went. So, I got
no matter what he has, I'll be happy. But for me, I have like this personal like wet dream of I want to see Carney have like a little miniature version of himself, because I think that would be the coolest thing, you know, just like a fucking 7-year-old being like, Dad, can we get some tomahawk? And he's like, oh yeah, bro, let's sit down to meat and bone and grab some steaks. And he's like, let's fire up that grill. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's got the kid out there with the knives, you know, like that would be cool. Like you just have like John and like Mini-Me from Austin Powers, like that would be epic. I think that would be cool. Yeah. But if he had another girl, he'd be outnumbered, which is not always a bad thing, but
I was outnumbered for a while. And then we flipped it. But yeah, my son Peter is moving to Oklahoma to go. He has left his job at iHeartRadio, and he is pursuing his dream to be an air traffic controller.
Oh, good for him. That's awesome.
So I think I told you I was tied up with some stuff with that. But he's actually, the move date is actually when I'm at ProCigar. It kind of stinks, but that's how it has to work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
His schedule. So, we're going to miss him. Like, we've had everyone local. Even my daughter she lives 90 minutes away, so that's not far. But yeah, it's going to be big empty nest we're about to have with him leaving.
Jade said my Y chromosome is weak. 2 girls and 1 boy, 5 granddaughters and 1 grandson.
It's whatever, you know what it is. As long as the generations are blossoming, and it's all good.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah. I would be.
Hey, you can't choose. You get what you get.
But I love gender reveals. I'm into it.
What's the excitement of like which way is it gonna go?
I've gotten into it. Like I still like the element of surprise. Don't get me wrong, but if you're doing a gender reveal I'm gonna watch it. So, and I'm happy. However, there's no bad answer with that, which is really cool.
Well, they did the same thing when Autumn was born too. They did a live stream gender reveal. I remember watching that.
That was one I remember. The one I really remembered, it's unfortunately had a very tragic ending, was Gabriel Alvarez. I don't know if you knew Gabriel.
No, remind me. Oh my god! I lost your audio again. I know it's not me. It's not me. We know it's John. He's a Coop so mad. Oh man, John, listen. First of all, I'm sorry if I fucked up your plans on Ecamm. All right, I really like. I know you. This is kind of an important thing, but I keep losing Coop's audio, so I don't know.
I'm trying to tell a serious story here, and I'm getting cut off.
I know. It's John, I'm out. I'll finish later. Okay. I'm sorry, John. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. This was a really serious story here. So this was with Gabriel Alvarez, who I was saying he was a national sales manager, and he had 2 daughters, and he really wanted a boy, and gender reveal comes out with a boy, and I think everyone knows he passed away before that baby was born.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. So and Gabriel, really good guy, and one thing that's really special is the first interview Bear and I did together was with Gabriel. So, yeah, it was sad.
Oh, that is sad.
Yeah. So yeah, that's happened. It's just yeah. So yeah, that was. But that was. I remember his reaction of after having 2 girls. He was like running around, like so excited.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would be in the same boat too. I mean, that's cool, man. But you know what? At least he died knowing that he was getting one. I mean, I have to say, I'll finish later. I know. I feel bad. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I don't mean to fuck up your plans. Damn it. Anyway, we're not gonna be on all night. But you know what? Now I'm like, I gotta watch Gender Reveal tomorrow. So.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm watching the game yet. I'm going to make sure I watch the reveal, but I haven't decided if I'm watching at the local shop or at home. I'm going to
watch it right down here.
I don't like big crowds for games.
Oh, I know.
I don't think there'll be a big crowd at the store. I hate that it's a 6 o'clock Sunday game. I hate that. I just wish it was a Saturday game or earlier in the afternoon. I don't like 6 o'clock. I
know. Like what is it with Sunday? Like, The biggest game in the NFL every year, they put it on a Sunday night. It's like, put it on a Saturday so people can get, do their thing and not have to worry about it.
If you do the game on CBS, you don't have to cancel 60 minutes either, which they never like canceling 60 minutes.
I know. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God forbid they don't have 60 minutes.
Oh, man, you would think, I can tell you what, there'll be a nuclear attack, they wouldn't cancel 60 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever watch a CBS game it's like 6:45, and the message comes up: 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety.
Yes, every time.
Fox will have no problem canceling Bob's Burgers, right? And the game's running late, but 60 minutes goes on as scheduled.
60 minutes will air in its entirety, just so you know. It's like, who's still fucking watching 60 minutes? Like, 75 and up? Like, those people?
I never watched it. So.
Coop, I'll give you credit. Even you're not old enough to be like the 60 minutes crew. It's like, who the fuck still watches 60 minutes? It's like, if I want to watch 60 minutes, it's because I put it on because I need something to fall asleep to because it's so boring. Is it with Dan Rather? Is it Dan Rather now? I remember it was Barbara Walters for it. Is it Dan Rather?
No, I don't even know who it is. I don't watch, but it's not Dan. Dan Rather's long retired, I believe. But it was oh man, you hear Pat Summerall used to be the guy who'd have that voice like 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety. So
60 minutes. Oh yeah, it's like God forbid we miss 60 minutes.
But Bob's Burgers, yeah, we'll catch up on Bob's Burgers another time. We got to put Terry and Jimmy on, right? So yeah, and if you notice, the other thing, if you watch football on Sunday, right? CBS. See you next week. They don't even say see you next week. They cut right to 60 minutes. Fox goes back to the studio for about a half hour, and they talk about the games. And CBS, there's no discussion if it's past 7 o'clock. Goes right to 60 minutes.
Even my mom, like she said right here, I hate that 60 minutes always pushes Big Brother later when that happens. Everybody hates 60 minutes. It doesn't matter what your thing is. Everybody just hates 60 minutes. Who cares about 60 minutes anyway? She's right. Who the fuck cares about 60 minutes? Jay Davis, I'm so old I remember Walt Disney personally introducing the Disney show.
I do too. Oh, so Matt, okay, let's talk about this for a second. Sunday nights on NBC, okay, and they never would delay this. Well, they would. You had 2 shows on. You had Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, hosted by Marlon Perkins, right?
Yeah.
And then it was followed by The Wonderful World of Disney a half hour later. So it was basically this animal show that you'd watch, hosted by this guy Marlon Perkins, sponsored by Mutual of Omaha, right? And he'd go out on these safaris. He'd go to Africa and Asia, and it was like really up close, great looks. This was a popular show. And then you go to Disney, and I do remember Walt Disney doing an intro, I believe. And it stunk because then Disney, they just diluted that whole show. Like, it was about, they put these terrible movies on, and you wouldn't get like Mickey Mouse or anything cool,
Yeah, I'm not old enough to really remember that.
Yeah, and then I think it was after that, I want to say it was the Rockford Files on after that, which was a great cop show. So I want to say, Jake could correct me on that, but I believe it.
My mom said, "Coop, stop showing our age."
Right. I'm proud of my. But yeah, no, I get you. Like she remembers a lot of this too. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, she does. She remembers a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Luke Kelly, 60 Minutes has sucked for a year.
Who watches 60 and it gets high rated?
Yeah, I know. You know what? I was gonna say, and I just saw it. We got one person in the comments who likes 60 Minutes. Take a guess.
Don't tell me. Don't even.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Don't even
He's
tell
the only
me.
one. He's the only one.
Don't even do it.
I always liked Dateline and 60 Minutes when I was younger. Who the fuck watches 60 Minutes? Alan Rubin. Oh, I should have guessed.
He don't watch the games. He doesn't care about watching the game. He follows stats and then he
Dateline. Who's fucking Dateline?
What is Dateline? Love show? Oh no, it's a new show. It's a new show.
No, it's a new show. Yeah.
It was a new show. Yeah.
Isn't Dateline the one that used to do even Luke Kelly, Alan Rubin? Yeah, of course. Wasn't Dateline the one that also did The Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen?
I don't know.
When the pedophiles would show up and they'd be like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Chris Hansen. Why don't you take a seat?" I was like, "I'm just here to bring some pizza," and it's like, "Are you? Are you?"
Fox gives you cartoons at least. Not that I'm a Fox Network fan, but like Bob's Burgers and
Family Guy,
Simpsons.
Is Simpsons Fox? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It used to be Married with Children, was the big Sunday show.
Yeah.
And they put it on later, so if they ran over with the football, you never miss Married.
With Katie Seagal and Ned O'Neill.
Oh yeah.
Al Bundy. Yeah.
Al Bundy, one of the all-time greatest shows of all time. All-time show.
John Carney, not to talk politics, but 60 Minutes is a joke now. It used to be an amazing news show.
Look at this. There's one. I cannot believe there's not more. Well, I should say there's only one person who has backed 60 Minutes on this whole audience.
Yeah, and he goes, some of us actually like gaining information and learning. There is a reason my brother and I were national ranked in high school debate. Because you watch 60 Minutes? Is that what you're alluding to? Because you were national because you watch 60 Minutes.
60 Minutes. So we're all less educated, right? Because we watch.
According to Alan, the rest of us are not on par because we don't watch 60 Minutes. So, excuse me, I didn't know.
Why are we even? Why?
Because it makes good content. Let's see.
It doesn't.
JJ, I mean, 60 Minutes is getting John Carney. I mean, 60 Minutes is getting sued for $10 billion. Yeah, that's true. I think it's hilarious. Coop, can't remember, but I did love the Rockford Files. Hey, remember Hawaii Five-0 was the last show from the 60s that ran into the 80s. Those were the days. Very limited commercials.
The original Hawaii Five-0 was a top. That was on one of the greatest shows. I mean, they'd have the wave come on and the da-da-da-da-da. It was just that.
Oh, was that a little dance, Coop? Iconic. I like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I noticed once I went to a party and I did the Hawaii Five-0 dance and then people started throwing water at me. It was cool. In college, that happened, yeah.
My mom said Lawrence Welk. Oh my God, my grandparents made us watch it. I still hear that damn song in my head. I don't know that one.
So New Year's Eve, right? Dick Clark. But my aunts would watch Guy Lombardo, right? But Dick Clark was in our house. It was Dick Clark, and My father hated Dick Clark, right? But then he felt bad when Dick Clark got sick, unfortunately. He felt bad about all the bad things he said about Dick Clark. Because, remember Dick Clark had the stroke and he never was the same. It was
Yeah,
sad.
that's right.
Yeah. He did. At least I said, Dad, at least you have a heart for the guy. He was, I don't know, he met Dick Clark once and I think he was blown off by Dick Clark and it pissed him off. So, yeah.
Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve.
Yeah, Dick Clark.
I think they still call it that, even though it's fucking Ryan Seacrest.
You know what? And good job for them to do that. Good job. I respect.
That was his show.
I respect that. Yeah. But yeah, with Guy Lombardo, Lawrence Welk would do stuff on New Year's Eve too. Oh, my aunts. See, my mom was raised by her aunts, so they were like my grandparents. Merv Griffin. You'd rather watch paint dry on a wall than watch a Merv Griffin. And Merv Griffin's on every night at 8:00 in New York. And he had guests on. I won't say he had big guests on, but he was the worst host. He was just so boring.
We know some people like that in the cigar business. Just extremely dry.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. It's okay. You can say it. We're not going to say who, but we know. There's some people.
But I don't. At least you know what. I don't want to get on them because those people also, are good people. So.
No, I know. I'm just saying. My point is that you get dryness everywhere. You got to be fair.
Yeah.
All in the Family, SNL. A lot of good shows back in the day. There was Miami Vice. Magnum PI.
I mean, that was big. Dallas was really big in college. Dallas was an event. Dallas was an event in college. You went to the student center and you watched that at Rutgers. It was a big deal. That was big. Miami Vice was becoming big when I was in college as well, or right when I started college, it got big. So that was another big one. I want to say Friday nights as well, or Thursday nights. I forget what it was, but yeah, that was a big one.
What was on SNL? What was her name? Who was really big? I don't know why I just thought of this.
Well, it was a lot. Yeah.
She was married to Gene Wilder, and she did Rosanna Dana.
Gilda
Radner. Yeah.
Passed away. Tragic.
Yeah.
She was really good.
She was another big one.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah, I mean, I really think when Billy Crystal took it over, it was really good. He was really good in that role.
Going through these comments, I should have just. You know what I should have said? I should tell me you were born in the 1960s without telling me you were born in the 1960s. Just on these comments. Merv, Jay Davis. In the early 80s, every kid watched Carson and Letterman. We were training to be old men and women back then. Then Luke Kelly, MASH. And then my mom said, Who Shot JR was big.
It was huge. But when I was in college, it was after Who Shot JR, though. It was Bobby in the Shower was the big thing. When they brought back Patrick Duffy, that was big. But it was an easy way to meet girls, I can tell you that, too. So, I had a lot of dates coming out of watching the Dallas watches at the Student Center, so yeah.
You got a lot of dates at the Student Center?
I met most of the dates I had. I met at those Dallas watch. They didn't call them watch parties then, but yeah.
So that was your fishing hole for women back in the day. Does Lisa know about? Was Lisa one of those women?
Lisa didn't go to college. That's when we were kind of separate ways at that point.
Okay. But does she know about your Playboy lifestyle during the Dallas time?
There wasn't a Playboy lifestyle, but yeah, I'm just saying I met people. I'm not saying. Yeah.
Cool. I'm just giving you a high time. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that. I mean, if you really wanted to meet the girls, you go to the Student Center when General Hospital was on. But I used to have class a lot of that, so I didn't. But General Hospital it was all women watching that.
Did you watch General Hospital?
No. Yeah. I never, because I always had classes at like that time in the afternoon. But have I been in the Student Center a couple times? Yeah, it was on, but I never watched it. I know who watches General Hospital in the cigar industry? The Hustler guys, because they did a whole thing on someone dying on General Hospital a few weeks ago.
Well, let's be fair. That was probably. Oh, Jay Davis. They were on a break. Well, that's a Friends reference if I ever caught one. Pivot. Yeah, it's probably because Mike Palmer was on there. You know what I mean? Because Skabenowicz or whatever his name is. He won't watch General Hospital. Mike Palmer was watching it though. That's what that was.
Actually, I don't know if it was the character or a real life actress who died, but they were talking about someone. I'm like, what the heck are we getting on a Cigar Hustlers podcast now? They can't spell San Andreas right, but they so.
Wow, shots fired, dude.
Oh, I've been all over them.
The kids
they
San Andreas.
They sent that press release out. They spelled San Andreas wrong.
I didn't even catch it until you. And I was like, oh shit! And I didn't see it. And I was like, oh fuck.
They sent a correction out, and that wasn't being slipped under the rug. So.
Yeah. Yeah, they put the A in there. There's no A in San Andreas on the.
They went after me on that. When they went after me about the whole goofy look on at ProCigar last year, they fired the first shot. So.
Is this a friendly little battle that you have going on with the Hustler guys?
Yeah, they're really good guys. Actually, I like them a lot.
Palmer was like, "Does this mean I can come on your show?" I said, "Only if you don't bring Mike, the other Mike." So I should have Mike Palmer on.
We have Mike on. We've had Mike on. He's good. He's a good guest. He's a really good guest. He's an excellent guest. Actually, I would recommend him.
He's got a really unique sense of humor, and I think that's what makes him.
He's got this dry wit. He's got a dry wit.
Yeah.
Sense of humor.
Yeah. Arguably, I think he's the funniest one in the group. Coop Playboy lifestyle. LOL. The 80s were great.
I can't say I did. No, I didn't say that. No.
For a moment, though, you made it sound like you got around a lot because you were like, oh, that's where we used to pick up women when Dallas was on.
Your mom made a great comment here. The 80s were the best happy experience at my high school days. Best music, best show, movies.
Nah, she's right. She's right. I agree.
She's 1,000% right. It was a very special time.
You guys are a dying breed.
Yeah,
you guys were the last great generation. It's true. Look at the rest of us that came along.
It all changed in the 90s. Changed a lot. Yeah.
The 90s, I think the 90s was the beginning of the end of the world.
Yeah, it was a very different time. Gulf War changed a lot with this whole country. Yeah. Yeah.
Jay Davis, didn't they confuse the CIA with the CRA? I don't know. Did they?
They did.
I missed that.
They did. And I've been a little easier on that one with them, but yeah. The spelling one, when it was spelled right on your cigar, you ain't getting away with that.
Yeah, that's a hard one to dodge.
Yeah. But I will say, I did smoke their Catastrophic Failure cigar. It was really good.
Yeah, that one I smoked. It was good, and I think we just got the. They sent me the new San Andreas. Which showed up.
They
didn't.
Oh, well, I may be off the list now.
Uh-oh. Well, it was random because I got a pack and I said, "Oh," I said, "What's?" And I went, "Oh." I said, "Okay, cool." And then I opened it up and it was 3 of the San Andreas, and I said, "Oh, okay, here we go." I think they're right over there on the couch. Have to smoke those.
Yeah, we did. We actually smoked. Dave and I smoked Catastrophic Failure on. We did the show on the Super Bowl halftime show, and we decided to smoke Catastrophic Failures because our football season was Catastrophic Failures.
Yeah.
But the cigar was really good. It was a good cigar.
Ours was a failure, but that's because the Crafts decided we're gonna hire a guy to be the head coach who has absolutely no business being a head coach. And then, we replaced him with a proper head coach, and then he's been since building a nice NFL coaching staff.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, you're improved. I'll say that. I'm not the biggest fan of the coach, but he's a good hire. I'm not saying he's a bad hire.
I think though that one of the mistakes that was made was when Mayo was hired. One of the first things he did was take down the "Do Your Job" the Patriot way. He let them put the captain logos on the jerseys again. It was like, no, that's not how we played in Foxborough. And that stuff that we did see showed us all the stuff that we couldn't see behind closed doors. And I think he just flipped the culture. And that's just not how it is in New England. I mean, we don't, There's a reason it worked the way it did, and I think Vrabel is one of those guys who's going to be like, no, he's going to bring it back to Belichick's way. And I think that even though Belichick's gone, which I have another thing to say about that in a second, I think that's the right way, and I think that'll help get that team in line. But yeah, give it to Bill Belichick. I mean, you want to talk about big dick swinging. That dude showed up at the NFL honors with every Super Bowl ring, all 8 of them, on both hands. Dude, good for him. Right? Good for him.
I want to say he's got 9. He's got
8
because there's 2 Giants. Yeah, 2 Giants.
He's got the 2 Giants and the 6 Patriots rings.
Yep.
And he showed up just hands covered, just like all the rings on display. And I'm like, dude, you know what? Good for him. And there's people in the comments, oh, does he really have to do that? It's like, if you win 8 Super Bowls and you have 8 Super Bowl rings, you earn those rings, and you are going to show them off. Because if you don't, what good are they? It's to tell people, like, look, I won.
Yeah.
If you don't show them off, what are they worth? So,
trivia question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
There is a person in the cigar media who has a World Series ring. Do you know who that is?
There's 2 if you count by association, but
this is I don't know who the second is, but you know who one of them is, right?
Well, the second's me. My dad has World Series rings.
Okay, so that's one. Okay, but no, this person actually was issued one.
Okay, in the cigar media, online or print?
Online.
Hold on.
He's been around for a while. Yep.
Cigar media online. It's been around for a while.
Yep.
Worked for a team.
He
had to have if he yeah.
He still works for the team.
He still works for them. Why am I'm doing laps here? You know, it's always harder when you like put on the spot and you're like trying to crank it out.
I'll tell you if you want to give up. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm crossing them all off the list. Is it on? It's not on your team, right?
Not on my team.
It's not the How About That Cigar guys. Wait a minute. Patrick Legreed. No.
If he has one, I don't know about it.
Because he's involved with baseball.
He's involved with baseball, but this person is actually an employee for the team. I'm surprised no one in the audience got this one.
Yeah, yeah. Who is it?
All right. The hint was Gabe Kapler did manage this team, and it wasn't the Phillies.
It was the Giants.
It was the Giants.
Oh,
and
Robbie Rasmussen.
Robbie Rasmussen's got one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one. Yep. I don't think he got all 3, but they gave him one year. I think the third one they gave him, they did issue him one. So he's got a World Series ring. It's really cool. The first 2 my dad didn't get, but then they gave him 13 and they gave him 18. Yeah, they don't always do it. Some teams are better who's on the list, and they just change it from different times. But yeah, Robbie Rasmussen, who is he's been working for the Giants forever, and he is, for folks who don't know, he's on the Dojo team. He used to be Cigar Federation years ago. Went to Mombacho, and then he came back and he hosts the Flavor Odyssey show on Dojo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about him. At first, I'm like Patrick, because I know Patrick does commentary.
If Patrick's got one, I don't know about it. I don't know. So I'm not saying he does it, but I don't think he's directly affiliated with the Diamondbacks. But he's affiliated with Major League Baseball.
Right.
Yeah. And if he got one with the Diamondbacks, it'd have to be way back.
Oh, that's right. My mom reminded me. He got a watch for one of them. Was that 07? I think 07. I think he got a World Series watch in 07.
Well, they've only been to the World Series twice. They won it against the Yankees in 01, and then they lost it last year, the World Series, to the Astros. No, not the Astros. Who? Because
the Yankees lost to the Dodgers last year.
Yeah, the Yankees lost to the Dodgers last year. It was.
Year before that, was it the Astros who won against the Phillies?
No, the Astros beat the Phillies, and then why am I drawing back? Who won the 23 World Series? But yeah, that's I don't remember who won. I'm drawing a complete blank on the 23. Oh, Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers.
Oh yeah, that's right. Texas Rangers.
Yeah, they beat Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he may got watch for one of those division. I know Patrick's very affiliated with preseason baseball, which is why he wasn't at PCA last year.
Right.
Because he's involved with the He's very heavily involved with, and he's got
spring
a voice
training
for baseball. Yeah, he's got a voice for baseball announcer. You just listen to him. He's like, he could do these the field announcing. Or
he's got the voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Made for baseball. He could be a great announcer.
And that's why every time Half Wheel has to do a voiceover, it's always Patrick. Half Wheel's coverage of the 2023 PCA show. It's like, well, yeah, use him. Use the guy. I mean, it's what he does. He's got the voice.
You got the best guy. You got the best guy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. Use him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, you gotta give it to, he's got a great voice. He's got a golden voice. So, yeah, good for him.
Yeah, really, we had him on the show about a year ago. And he was amazing on that show. I'll just tell you that. Yeah.
I want to get him on the show too. Brooks has been on. Charlie's been on. Charlie's been on a bunch of times. But
Charlie's been on a bunch of times. Brooks, we haven't had on. We should get Brooks on ours. But yeah, he's done what he's done there. He is an absolute bulldog when it comes to getting news too. He's really
I remember we had Brooks on the show, and it was a few years back. Every time I think about it, I can't help but laugh. It was so great. But we were talking about influence trade show, and I was like, and I said something like, and then they got the cigar influencers, and Brooks just stone cold, just like look at camera, was like, is there such a thing? It just died.
Yeah.
Just like so serious, like not even like he was like, is there such a thing?
Yeah.
That's the thing about Brooks. I mean, Brooks too. I mean, he's got that dry delivery, and it's great.
Yeah,
I gotta give it to him. Brooks is one of the. And I go, Brooks. I go, if I read a Half Wheel review and I see that it's you, I get excited. He's like, really? I do.
You have to take it off to them guys. They have a triple-headed monster.
They do.
You have Patrick's got the voice and a very good writer as well.
Yeah.
Brooks has got the photography.
Yeah.
Charlie's got Charlie with the pen. I mean, it's a triple-headed. It's really strong, and that team's been together forever for a reason. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a great team. It's a great team. A lot of great teams. But they're definitely a good team.
Yeah.
It's not easy to build a team. I can tell you that. Coop can tell you that. So when you do get a team that works, it's a big deal. What are we looking at for time here? It's 9:44. Man, we've been on here. We're at about the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, a long day for me. This is my third podcast today, and it started at 5 a.m. So I had to do one at 5 a.m. this morning, and I had to get up at 5 a.m. I should say. But yeah, long day today. So
yeah, I was gonna say that's a long day for you elderly people.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a long day too. I have to get up early as well, and the game's on, so that's gonna take me.
I gotta go clean up snow, and then Nicole's gotta work, come home, and then we're gonna cook a bunch of apps for the game. We're gonna come down here and gonna light it up.
Yeah.
So I gotta rest my stomach today because I'm like I don't want to go too hard because I gotta get it back to normal operation for tomorrow. I got buffalo chicken dip, I got burgers. Like I can't, I gotta be, professional eating mode again by tomorrow. I gotta,
I actually did a bunch of food reviews this week. Queued up some food reviews. So I didn't exactly eat healthy, as well. I'll say so.
Coop, don't play it off. Me and you don't really eat healthy most of the time.
No, I'm not saying I do, but I'm like it was probably more. It was probably more unhealthy for sure. So here's a little thing I had to do. Lent is coming up for for us Catholics here.
That's right.
And I actually am a person who does practice meatless Fridays. And
as I know.
Do it. And now all the chains are coming out with fish sandwiches. So I just go through some fish sandwiches.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because sorry, I just needed to grab something really quick. It's funny you say that because I feel like I saw something recently. And it was another fast food chain. And I didn't really think about it. They had a fish, like a fish fillet sandwich. Now that you say that, I'm like, yeah. I feel like more people are trying to copy the fillet of fish. Which I've had this conversation. I've had this conversation with Nicole's brother, because my father-in-law likes the fillet of fish, and Nicole's brother has defended him and said, when you get it fresh, it's really good. And I'm like, Jonathan, and me and Nicole have always been like, Jonathan, I don't know. Like, first of all, when it comes to fish, when it comes to food, there's not a lot I don't eat. There are things I won't eat. When it comes to fish, especially, if it swims, I eat it. My mom will tell you that too. If it swims, I eat it. But there's something about getting fish from like fast food, because fish is not like beef and pork and chicken. Like fish is, is a little bit more.
It's mostly frozen, so it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. And he's like, it's good, but I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing it more and more.
And yeah, I don't want to give away what the scores are, but that is a big factor because it's frozen. Now some are good. I will say that a lot of them are limiteds too. So, like, McDonald's is a year-round Filet-O-Fish sandwich.
Right.
But, like, Arby's is a limited. We have Culver's. That's a regular. But I know some of the other places are going to be introducing their fish sandwiches probably very soon. So,
it
is, yeah.
Sorry, Jay made a comment about the double Big Mac with Filet-O-Fish. It got me thinking, is McDonald's still doing the chicken Big Mac still, or is that like already done?
It's gone. It's done. I think it'll come back. But yeah, it was a limited.
Yeah.
It was a limited.
That was interesting.
That was interesting. Whataburger has a fish sandwich that is actually pretty good. I definitely will be doing that review when I head down to Jackson on my way to Florida. That's gonna be tough because if I don't, it's hard to do that in the restaurant, and unless I stay in a hotel, it's tricky, But I have a whole system. If I take the food home and I use heated bags and stuff to take this home, so it stays hot. So I'm very meticulous about this stuff. But I am going to take one of those bags down to Florida, those heating bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm very meticulous about that. If it's not, I try to keep it at. If it's, in fact, I'll abort the review if it's not at the right temperature. So yeah, I'm very picky on that. When I was in Baltimore, I packed one in my suitcase, a little bag. So yeah, I did it when I was in Baltimore recently.
Oh, here's a good one right here. So, I can't eat frozen lobster. It tastes horrible. All right, so do you remember when I told you a few weeks ago about the clam chowder? And look, we're from New England, so we're allowed to be critical on this. This is we grew up eating this shit.
Right.
When I just want to put this out there. Now, for you're not from here. It's okay. No one's picking on you. But for people who go around bragging about this particular clam chowder, no, don't. I'm here to set the record straight. If you get a clam chowder and you see oil on the top of it, or at the top of it's got like that butter or the oil, or it's got that gold, stop. That is not good clam chowder. Don't let anyone tell you that's good clam chowder. That has too much oil in it. That is not a good clam chowder. And there's a lot of half-assed seafood places that are trying to, play with the big boys up here, and they have this oily clam chowder. That is the worst clam chowder. You're going to spend the rest of your afternoon shitting yourself out on the toilet. Don't eat that clam chowder. You want a good clam chowder? It's creamy all the way through. No oil, just white. That is good clam chowder.
We did a good clam chowder review. It wasn't Kelly's, because I couldn't do that one. But this is what I tell people: the review's there not to find something that you're gonna like. It's there to give us an assessment of it. So I probably will review that at some point just to see how it scores. And then but yeah, I'm not like in. It's like
Coop, I'll tell you what.
I'm gonna give 90. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Next time you come to New England, I'm going to take you to a place.
Okay.
I'm going to take you to a place. And it's going to be the best seafood you will ever eat in your life. And we're going to go to Ipswich, Massachusetts. That's all I'm going to tell you. You're going to have the best. I'm going to tell you this place. You are a world traveler. You like to cross the land. You're going to tell people you want seafood. You got to go to Ipswich, Massachusetts. You're going to tell people. I swear. This is going to be it for you. And you don't let me forget. I'm going to take you to this place. I'm going to treat you because I think you're a good foodie. You're a good foodie like me. You need to try this place.
Okay.
And I already see you're doing your research. I can already tell. I'll just tell you.
No, I'm not. I'm
It's
not,
called-
because there's probably a ton of places.
It's called the Clam Box of Ipswich, and it's the greatest there is.
Okay, I like
The
that.
clam chowder's the best. Their fried clam. They change their oil twice a day. Twice a day.
Wow.
They change the oil. That's how fresh that place is.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people ask me, like, will I review this restaurant, that restaurant? The problem is if it's not well known, it doesn't get me analytics. So
This place is pretty popular.
yeah. I'm not saying I wouldn't. If it is regionally.
But
known,
even review, you don't even have to review it. I just want you to experience it.
No, in a
review.
restaurant, it's tough to. I have never done it in a restaurant because I just feel weird. I have lighting and stuff now. I'm using.
Do you eat fried clams?
Yeah, I don't eat fried oysters, surprisingly though.
So these will be
I
the
don't
best
like fried
fried clams and the best clam chowder you'll ever eat. I promise. You can hold me to it.
Okay. It's the Clam Shack.
The Clam Box.
The Clam Box. Okay.
The Clam Box of Ipswich, Mass.
Yeah.
That is the place to go.
Yeah.
Hands down. It'll be any fried clams and clam chowder you ever have. I promise.
Yeah. No, that's good.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
We've been going there since I was a kid.
Nice. I'm in.
And they get good lobster rolls. And on Friday, their lobsters are pretty good. And if you go on Fridays, the Friday special is fried lobster tail.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very good. I don't know if they still do it. I'm pretty sure they do. My mom will probably know. But on Fridays was always fried lobster tail, which, I mean, it's an experience, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. I actually really like. I'll put New England. I like. There's three types I have. New England, Manhattan clam chowder when it's done right is really good too.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is the clear clam chowder, which has there's different states that claim name to that. I do like that one as well. We actually order some of that via Amazon. If we get the clear. It's called. They call it Rhode Island clam chowder, but I've also heard it called Maine, and I've heard it called a couple of things. So, but it's the clear broth, which is very good too. I like all three. They're all different.
Yeah, I mean,
Manhattan is the hardest to do right, though. I'll tell you that. It's because if you go to there's some places in New York that do it right.
So did they put corn in theirs?
No, you don't put a corn in it.
Because I remember one time I had a clam chowder. They didn't call it New England, but it was a clam chowder, and they put corn in it. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but there's no corn in clam chowder.
Yeah, no.
Corn goes in corn chowder.
Yeah, corn goes in corn chowder. I can't say I've had in there. It's got the potatoes, the onions. Pretty much. I've seen a little bit of celery in it. Occasionally, I'll see carrots in it, but you don't even need the carrots, to be honest with you.
Apparently, my mom found another place. If Coop comes back, I will take him to a place even you have not been.
Oh, I'm in.
We will go to both places. One is good for clams. Hold on. You have not tried the clam chowder at this other place. Best lobster pie. Well, I don't know. I guess so. I mean, Clam Box of Ipswich is still pretty legendary, but yeah. I guess they got this other place. But yeah, when you come to New England, I mean, how many times have you had bad food here? I mean, this is this is an eating region.
No, never. And it's a great food area. Yeah, there's not a lot of places I could say have been bad food cities. Believe it or not, I could find something in almost every city. Some are easier than others, obviously.
I'll tell you what, we make good cheesesteaks here too.
I don't know.
How many cheesesteaks have you had here?
Zero. That's why I'm saying I don't know. I'm just saying.
So
but there's bad cheese. But here's the thing: there's bad cheesesteaks in Philadelphia as well.
Oh, sure.
The funny. I keep saying the place that Terrence went to is actually a revered cheesesteak place. It's very good. That picture, I just don't know what went wrong to this day with him with that. And I think he thought he was getting like it's Steve's, which is I would put Steve's in the top 10 in Philadelphia, and I've been there. I don't know what went wrong with that cheesesteak that he got. I don't know if he let it sit too long or it just is. It's just is never. He's never shaken it.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm bad. Jack Heyer destroys him over this. The great Jack Heyer, by the way.
The great Jack Heyer.
I love Jack.
Me
love
too.
that guy. I've seen this guy grow in the industry. He has been so helpful in a lot of ways to me. And I wish him. I think he could be one day a
He's
CEO
coming
of this.
on. He's coming on next month, I think.
Good.
I'm excited.
We've had him on as well. He's a good guest. He's a good guy. I mean, do you think about it? He's gone from media to sales to marketing to ambassador and now to brand management. I mean, he's done a lot at a young age.
Listen, Coop. Listen, it's not easy to do what I do. Okay.
That's a good Jack.
Until you get a tattoo on your back, and then later go to work for that company, believe me, it's hard to do.
I was on a Drew Estate cigar safari with this guy, right? He's doing belly whoppers in the Drew Estate pool.
Dude, I remember seeing a picture of him at Puro Sabor like 2 years ago, and he looked shit-faced, and he had a can of Tonya in his hand every photo.
He loves Tonya. That's his thing. I know because every night I would go back to the Drew Estate people kind enough to drive me back, and I know one time he was trying to get a hot dog at like midnight in the middle of Esteli, Nicaragua. You have to understand how funny that is. Like, I think he went to a gas station or something like that.
Being in Esteli, Nicaragua, and be like, all right, where can I just get like a hot dog? Like, I just need like some simple American food. I'm kind of drunk. I need to soak it up, and like I don't want to eat this delicacy stuff. Like, I just want like a hot dog or like a hamburger. And then they're like, we'll go to this place. And he's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. That's Jack nailed down the voice as I'd never heard it before, by the way.
I did that for JT and some of the guys at the Davidoff booth. And they were like, dude, does he know you do that? I'm like, usually people don't know I do them till everyone knows and then someone tells them. So I don't think he knows yet. But yeah, I mean, it's on wax here. So, I mean, I'm sure he'll find out. Yeah. I mean, I don't hide it from people. It's just usually you don't do it.
They're saying it on a show. It ain't hiding it.
I mean, the reason why it comes out sometimes is it's because they're not around and you're trying to like explain their essence. So you don't normally do it in front of them because there's no need to do it in front of them. But it's not because you're hiding it from them. I mean, if Jack was like, "So, I hear you can do me," I'd be like, "Yes, I can," and he'd be like, "No shit, that doesn't sound like me," and I'd be like, "Everyone else would beg to differ." Yeah. That's usually how it goes. I mean, with most people I do, they're like, that doesn't sound like me. Yeah, but no one ever wants to admit when you can be them. Because everyone wants to be themselves.
They do, yeah.
But anyway, look, it's been a long day for you and me.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I want to get you off here, and I want to go see how much snow I have outside. So, great talk. Last one, real quick. Not going to get into a discussion. Just give me a quick one. I assume you're going with the Eagles tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, they're not my team, but I always have my Philly roots. So.
Yep.
Well, my Philly tenure, I should say. I'm not from Philly, but yeah.
I got the Chiefs going for the three-peat because I'm a New England fan and I recognize good teams. I know what it's like to get all that flack from the people who don't like you. So, whoa, what happened here? Whoa.
Welcome to the show.
Whoa, what happened? How did I, there we go. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I'm going with the Chiefs because, like I said, I recognize good teams. I also, being a New England fan, I recognize all the hate that they get. So, 1, 2, 3, how about them Chiefs? That's my pick for tomorrow. So, but good luck. Good luck.
Yeah,
Philly's a good team too. If they would look, I don't have a dog in the fight, so I don't care really who wins.
I would love to see Andy get another ring, so I have no problem if he wins. So, yeah.
But having said all that, if the Chiefs win, if the Eagles win, that's a great organization too. Nick Sirianni, he's a Super Bowl kind of coach, so it'd be cool to see him win.
Super Bowls in 4 years. Nice job he's done. Yeah.
Lock it up, bring it home.
Yeah.
But like I said, either way, I know it's probably not the Super Bowl most people wanted, but I think it'll be a good game. So that's that. And then at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, John Carney reveals which kind of offspring he's having next. So don't miss that.
We'll give John back the platform after this.
Yeah, we'll have to get off so that I'm gonna text John and be like, all right, we're off Ecamm. You can log in again.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's gonna do our show for this week. We'll